We're live. Hey everyone, this is the impromptu Team Relentless call. I was telling Lyndsi, who is my friend, we actually belong to the same upline, and we've become friends over the years. I was inspired by her amazing health story and related to a lot of people that I work with, and then we actually had the opportunity to work kind of side by side when we were picked to be part of the PiYo Test Group. So that basically, if you don't know what that means that we tested out PiYo before it released to the public from April to June, and I'm very impressed with her. She has twin toddlers, and she made a move cross country and still managed to stay on track with her nutrition and her workouts and rocked it. And if you haven't seen her results, you definitely should. I was telling her the other day, as I was saying, that I don't really have a weekly set schedule of when our team calls are. I know a lot of people have it on Monday or Tuesday, and I probably need to get better on that. But for me, I listen to what my team's struggling with, and then I really try to have a call focused on whatever it seems to be the struggle at the moment, and I try to find somebody who has a different voice, because one thing that I always share with everybody is, if you study and follow these elite coaches, we all follow the same principles. We have different ways of teaching it and different ways of implementing it to personalize it, and I found that a lot of times, I think everybody can relate, when you have a spouse or a parent that tells you something, it doesn't always resonate within you, but hearing it from another set of lips and maybe delivered in a different little package or a different teaching method, something sinks in. And one thing that I've learned from one of my coaches, Leslie Wood, and I've seen it in my own business, is that as we go in this business and as we do personal development and as we practice what we 3 vital behaviors, we get better and we become more receptive to things. So sometimes it's not that a message falls in deaf ears or it's not taught the right way, it's that we're not really receptive to the message at the time. So I'm really honored to have her on here. She is a Success Club All-Star legend. If you're not familiar with it, or if you're a new coach, we all try to strive every month to hit Success Clubs. That basically equates to helping 3 people and committing to helping change 3 people's lives. And if you have been earned Success Club for 12 months consecutively, you become a Success Club All-Star. And if you've held it for 24 months consecutively, then you become an All-Star. And I believe, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's over 30 months that she's achieved Success Club, if I remember correctly. And she's a 2 times elite coach and is sponsored. I can't even remember how many diamonds right now. And so she's had an amazing story, and so we spoke, and I feel that she has a good understanding of inviting, where that seems to be the first Ryan. It seems to be the biggest part that we need to focus on the most, and if you don't understand how to implement it, it can definitely impact your business. So one thing I want to share in the beginning is, she will get into the invitation process, is that people say, how do you find people? And so I was sharing with a coach today that I've built my whole business on social media through Facebook alone. I have an Instagram and a Twitter account and now a Smile Mom account and a YouTube account, but solely how I have grown a large team and hit elite last year and hit Success Club every month since I've been a coach, which is I think 34 months now, or 33 months. That it's all been through Facebook, and it's been basically opening up my page to the public, learning how to market myself on social media. And if you have a hard time with social media and marketing yourself and understanding it, I am also doing another call on Thursday with Danielle Katz, who has taught me everything that I know when it comes to social media. But I have essentially found people through social media and treated them kindly and treated them as if they are the only person that I'm helping, and help them achieve their goals. And with that has built a reputation for myself, and through word of mouth and through referrals. And this is done from people sharing by word of mouth. And most of all, if you look at my Facebook page, there are people who tag me and people who thank me for what I've done for them, so it builds a reputation. And I have, over the course of almost 3 years, helped a lot of people reach their goals, and it's evident in health transformation, financial transformations, helping people become financially more people. So I'll kind of encapsulate that at the end, but I'm going to turn it over to Lyndsi to share her story and her tips on inviting your life.
All right, we're good? Okay, so thanks for having me on the call. I'm really honored to be here and talk to you guys about inviting, one of the 3 vital behaviors that, you know, if you're a coach, this is something you need to do, especially if you want to be successful. So about me, I started my journey. I actually had never done a Beachbody program. I worked with a personal trainer. So whenever people tell me that challenge packs are expensive, I laugh because I probably paid the price of a challenge pack every week when I was on my journey before Beachbody. So I lost 70 pounds and I had lost 15% body fat and 10 jean sizes. And I was working a very toxic job. It was a marketing job, and I was making like $35,000 a year. And I would have to drive an hour to and from work home through the snow, which right now I don't have to deal with anymore because I'm over here in Arizona. But I am from Chicago, and it's ice and snow and sleet at this time of year, and it was brutal. And I lost this weight, and all I wanted to do was be in the gym and be sweaty and work out and help people do the same thing because I had gone through so much, and I was like, wow, if I can get this weight off, anybody can do this because I can't believe I did this. You know, and so through the process, I was just dealing with a very toxic environment. Like I said, it was literally to the point of where I'd be driving in and we'd be texting each other, our coworkers, like, what mood are we dealing with today? What mood is the boss going to be in? And it was bad. If you were a minute late, you know, it was bad. It was just bad. And sure, should you show up on time for work? Sure. But those couple of days when stuff happens, like, come on. And so, you know, it really taught me to want to have my own freedom. You know, it tainted me to never want to ever work for someone because, you know, it just was not cool. And I knew something wasn't right there, and I'd been there for 6 years, and my income was going up and down and up and down. The economy's bad. This is bad. Oh, we're going to give you a raise. Oh, no, the economy's bad. And, like, these things kept going on and on and on. And so I got married, and then I was challenged to do Insanity by the trainer I was working with, and I was in pretty good shape at the time, so I didn't create a story with it or anything. It was a burned copy, and there was like 4 of the workouts. So it's important, I guess you could say, to educate people when you do deal with, you know, the Amazon, eBay burned copies. Like, yeah, this probably isn't the best of ideas, but you still want to help them because you want to find people like myself on your team and help me through it because I didn't know any better. So anyways, it took me 8 months. I watched a coach, my coach, for 8 months. I get paid, I get fit, I get paid, I get fit. And she kept posting every Thursday, and I was like, what is this girl? You know, and I was watching and watching and watching and watching. Finally, I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to school, and I'm going to become a trainer. And my husband was like, huh? And I had graduated college, and I had this like 40 grand in loans or 30 grand or something. And he was like, no. Because I'm like, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to do this training thing, and this is what I'm going to do. He was like, no, we have no. And I'm like, well, I could do this Beachbody thing. And he was like, $40? Yes. So I signed up for Beachbody, and again, then I bought Shakeology, and I bought an official Insanity program, which again adds up to a lot more than a challenge pack. So no one could ever tell me a challenge pack is too expensive, ever. So I got Insanity, and I signed up to coach. I went Diamond within 60 days. I went Star Diamond 30 days later. And then, yeah, I've been an elite coach twice. I'm right now an 8-star Diamond. I'm a 2-star, my second center, and then third center, and my husband, we're diamond in all those centers, which is a lot of diamonds. So that means I had to do a lot of inviting. I was able to take income and triple it. It's it's a six-figure income. I'm home with my boys. With them, my job ended up actually closing the doors, believe it or not. So I'm thankful I had a plan B set up. And in the midst of it all, I've battled major infertility. When I hit Star Diamond, I was on a mission to go to the Bahamas. Because back in the day, we had the opportunity to go to the Atlantis, and we had to get Success Club every month. And so I just turned my focus to like, okay, if I just help 3 people a month, I'll get Success Club, right? And we had to sign coaches back in the day. So we were forced to grow a team, which was great because you could see your income growing. In the midst of all of that, I found out I had a disease called PCOS, a polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I went through probably one of the darkest, hardest times of my life. And I just kind of turned to Beachbody to survive, I guess you could say. It was positive energy. And here I was like, okay, I have this great business to build and be home with a family that I may never have. And so I started fighting infertility and going through all the treatments and everything. And we ended up going to the Bahamas with Beachbody. I earned the trip, and I earned like an upgrade, and I earned the money for your flight and everything. And that was a big game changer for me because it was, my husband, and we were like, wow, this is like a big deal. And we realized the vision, we got to see everything and realized, like, you really can do something with this thing. And so then I decided to attempt to take it up a notch when I got home. But then I found out, I had done programs. I'd lost weight through TurboFire and P90X, and then decided to cleanse myself out with the Ultimate Reset. And in the midst of all of that, through the treatments that I was going through, I ended up pregnant with the twins. I have 2 boys now that are almost 2 years old. I've lost 60 pounds. I gained a ton of weight with all the treatments. And what did I do? I went through a IUI and lots of shots, which all leads to weight gain, lots of hormones, lots of bed rest and everything. And I built all of this through all of that. And now I've lost 60 pounds and working my way back down. And wow, this is a lot more challenging to lose weight when you have kids and a business and everything. So, but I'm moving along, and that's just proof that anyone can do this, any situation. And it is most important that we are talking to people and inviting them, because we can't prejudge anybody. I prejudged one of my top coaches because he had a really crazy profile picture, and I was like, oh no, this can't be good. And I'm glad I signed him up, because he's one of the best guys ever. He just happened to have a funky photo that made me think he was a lot older, and I felt very creeped on. That's how I felt, and I'll be honest, like, and so you can't prejudge, because I would die if I would have never signed this guy. He's like really good friends with our family, him and his wife, and it seemed awkward. So you guys have to know, like, when you're inviting, like, first things first is friends. You want to make friends, and you want to help them and add a lot of value to them. There's 2 ways to invite. There's advertising, and then there's personally inviting. So if you want to lean, and I suggest you do both. I think you need to, to really, especially if you're newer, or if you're still building, you got that momentum going, you're still building strong, you're trying to get to elite, or you're trying to get to Star Diamond or Diamond, and you want to really help people. The first thing is that you start with their fitness results. That gets them really excited and builds confidence in them to wanting to be a coach. So another thing I wanted to touch on was, who do you invite? And that is, for me, it's definitely challengers who are excited and have seen results, and you want to know, like, are you inspiring other people? Are other people noticing? Are they making comments? That's a sign that they're going to be a great coach. Those who are motivating people in the challenge groups, those who are motivating in your, I have some free accountability groups, and then I have actual paid challenge groups. And so those people are your coaches. They're being groomed through your groups, or through your posts, through interaction with you, and through interaction with the other people in the team page. So those are who you're looking to invite. And also, if you have fitness and health loving people like myself who knew nothing about Beachbody, right? I signed up and I'm like, I got to believe in this stuff, and I don't have a story with this stuff, so I got to figure this out. But I'm proof that you can do that. Like, so I created a story. I'm like, okay, well, let me get some product and let's start doing something. And I was able to create a story with it. And I'm still creating stories. So those are who you want to invite, specifically to coaching. Of course, challenger invites are anyone and everyone you want to help. And you add value through your social media. You got to post. You've got to definitely be you. And then, you know, you will start to attract people through your posts that totally relate to you and your life, and connect to you. Obviously, I connect to a lot of moms that have twins, and I connect to people who battled the infertility or are going through it right now. They very much connect to me. That's kind of a big thing, and then a lot of local people. So the two ways to invite are advertising or personally messaging, or face-to-face, or calling, or there's text. There's so many options, right? So I like to do both. I like to throw a post out. I just put one out right now, and we'll see how it goes. You know, you want to kind of say things that will draw them in. It's like, I like to think of it as fishing. So you're casting. So I casted the line, and the bait that I put on my hook needs to be enough that they're going to bite a little bit and be like, what are you talking about? So for me, my post has to say a little bit about what I'm doing, but it doesn't have to say it all. Some of them I like to do like that, and then there's some where I'll say, hey, I did this PiYo program, look at my results, and I'll do it that way. But it is fun to always kind of, if I could provide you with, have you seen that, you know, post about the 21-day fix, 30-minute workouts, and you know, you can have chocolate and wine, and you can lose up to 15 pounds in 21 days. Would you be interested? Instead of being like, hey, the 21-day fix, check it out, it's color-coded containers, and people are like, yeah, that's cool. But if you actually twist your invite and your post in a way that you can, that your bait, that they're like biting, and they're like, what are you talking about? You know, that works too. So I think that you really want to master how you're posting on your social media. Make sure you're adding a lot of value to these people. And personally, when you're making these friends, Mindy said, you know, you want to add friends, you want to make friends, right? Well, you need to get to know them, and you need to understand like what they're up to, what their life is like right now, and where they want to go in their life. And so it's important to understand, like, okay, you know, I've made this new friend. You have to be very much interested in them more than they're interested in you. So you need to ask a lot of questions. We all talk about form, family, occupation, recreation, and message. And for me, it's always, how old are your kids? You know, do you stay home with them? Or do you work? If you work, what do you do? What do you like about that job? Because then it's putting me into a position to have them be like, it's a paycheck. I don't know, I don't really like it. I'd rather be home with my kids. And it's starting for me to start to figure out, okay, maybe they'd be a great coach. Maybe, let's see what else. And I want to find out more. And so then we talk about you know, what does your husband do, or where do you live? What do you guys do for fun? And when you're doing questions, you can start talking about health and fitness as well. It usually gets brought up. Why? Because you're posting. And they're like, or it gets brought up because they may ask what you do, and you can be like, well, I talk to people on Facebook for fun. No, but you can also say that, you know, you're into health and fitness. you're an online health and fitness coach or something to that effect. And usually they come back with, yeah, I need to do something about that. And it kind of gives you an open door to find out more. So let's say I throw a post out, right? And I get 4 people who send me a message, and they're like, what is this all about? So the first thing I do is I say, like, what are you interested? Because I need to know why. So when you're inviting, and the same goes for when you are inviting through a message or face-to-face, or if you're calling somebody and inviting them, you've got to know why they're interested. You ask them, are you interested? Or do you know anybody who's interested? You can say, one of the most comfortable invites that I've created that has helped my team is, do you know anybody who would be interested in, and then we lay out a requirement, whether it's a challenge group or a coaching opportunity. So I'm looking for 3 people who need to lose 10 to 20 pounds for my next upcoming challenge group. The requirements are, like I said, 10 to 20 pounds, would love to lose a jean size, gain some energy, and feel overall healthier. Do you know anyone right now who may be a fit for that? And then I like to offer a referral gift. If you do, and they're a fit for my group, which means they actually purchase a challenge pack and become a paid challenger, then I would love to give you a gift as a thank you. Boom, invite done. And then, of course, what happens? They're like, well, what about me? Or they will refer people over to you. And if you're posting properly, like Transformation Tuesday, your workout photo, or your shake, or your meal, right, your nutrition, or even motivational stuff, they're going to know, like, I need to send my people to that one. Like, she's always there. She's always posting. She's always on top of it. She's going to help them best. She's better than a gym, right? Because we're getting into January, and everyone's going to get a gym membership, right? Because New Year, New You is coming. And so the more that we are involved right now, the more credibility we're building to where come January, they're going to actually come to us. They're not going to go to the gym because, again, why not? The gym doesn't tell you, unless you pay somebody a lot of money like I did, the gym doesn't tell you what to do and how to do it. Nor, I don't know that personal trainers necessarily hold you accountable either. I mean, that was a one-time experience that helped me, but I know the one I had before that told me I could have a full day of eating whatever I wanted, which was screwing me up because I would eat whatever I wanted that day because that's what I was told. But it actually screwed me up. I wasn't actually, like, seeing results. So anyways, my point is we got the best stuff, and yeah. Who wants to, okay, back to focus. So, all right, so inviting, so the referral invite, or you can be as simple as, this may come across awkward or random, but I'm hosting a fitness group coming up, and I would love, you crossed my mind, and I would just love to invite you to check it out. Are you interested? And then, again, you want to, so those are just a couple ways for you guys to invite. Okay? So once you have gotten that challenging question out, right? I think that's the hardest part for people, is just getting that question out. Then it's a matter of, why are you interested? Like, what are your goals? And this is how you kind of, and this, I'll just throw this in, is how you kind of handle the objection, is figuring out what their goals are before, well, I have this PiYo challenge pack and it's on sale for $140, and you're going to get a Shakeology, and Shakeology for a month, and it's a meal replacement, and it's going to help you. And they don't care about, like, all of that yet. I mean, they want to know right away, and they're probably going to ask, but they don't go there because you'll chase them away. And you don't want to do that. You want to figure out what they're eating. You want to figure out what they're doing. What have they done? What are the results so far? I've gotten so good at this to the point to where even, other people who are on other different products, that I can even be like, well, do you care about chemicals? It's a valid question. Like, do you care about chemicals in your body? And if they're like, well, yeah, then I can educate them on what they actually should be doing versus what they're doing now. Because a lot of people just need to be educated, which is why you get a lot of objections. So I overall will form them, get to know them, and through attraction marketing and posts, they will come to me or email me through my posts, or I will personally invite them based on how the conversation's going. If you know and then the other thing I like to do, of course, is ask when I do that invite. I like to ask for a referral. So they bring you other people. You give them a gift as a thank you. Like what do I usually do? I like to do something that is sort of Beachbody related, because then they've got a little bit of, you know, a sample of product of ours. Just send them a little thank you note, and it works out really well. And I make sure that I'm way more interested in them and their goals, and helping them achieve them as well. And it makes inviting fun, and it makes it easy to just really be like, this is a new friend I'm making, because what's going to happen? We're going to all be in Mexico together in a couple months and hanging out, and all because I had the courage to invite someone to join my challenge group, and now they're a coach, and now we get to be together on a trip. So that's kind of how I work. I don't know if you want me to like specifically go through form, or if you want me to do anything more specific, if you have any questions. I like to be low key.
I think, yeah, and I think that's great, because I think that we'll do another call on forms so it's not overwhelming. What you said was great, and you know, and I want to like just encapsulate that for, you know, everybody, is that, you know, I think, well, one thing that I heard about what Lyndsi said, and that I think that a lot of the new coaches don't realize, because people have said that before, like, oh, you're an all-star legend, or you're a Success Club, you know, all-star, and how did you do that? And, you know, people have always been intrigued at how I hit Success Club every month, just as you have, because I don't know about you, but when I first started becoming a coach, I had 200 friends on my Facebook page, and a lot of them aren't even people who bought anything from me now. I mean, I probably can count 20 people off those 200 people who bought a challenge pack or become a coach, and a lot of those people have just started to come around. So I had my Facebook page locked up like, you know, Fort Knox. I didn't know anything about marketing or social media other than to post pictures of my beer drinking and my kids. So I had that same thing of saying I didn't know a lot of people, and you know, you may have said the same thing, and some people I've heard people say, I'm new to an area and don't know anybody, and so here you have, was in the middle of focusing on PiYo, focusing on twins, and readjusting their different climates, and then right after, you know, you moved there was summit, and then leadership, and, you know, all these different things, and I think you had your retreat. So the thing is, I think people, this is one thing about inviting, is that I think people get in their head that they have to know a certain amount of people or live in a certain area, because people have said that before. Well, I don't live in a good area, or there's a soft market. If you market yourself and your results, and you learn to slow down and ask questions, I think that that's the biggest problem for people, is that they've limited themselves, where that they don't invite because they've already told themselves they couldn't because of how many friends they know, what their schedule is, where they live, how long they've lived there, whatever. And so that's one thing that I want to make sure that everybody realizes, is that, you know, this happened. And when Lyndsi and I became coaches, you know, like she said, the rules for Success Club were different. We had to get a coach as part of the Success Club. We didn't have the we couldn't convert coaches unless they bought a challenge pack in 30 days. There's a lot of things that if you are a new coach, I think within a year and a half, that they don't realize that it made it more challenging for us. Because I've heard people say it's not fair that Beachbody does this, and they make it so hard on us. If we're doing our job of embracing the 3 vital behaviors, then this should be an easy target to hit. And if you're not good at it, it doesn't mean that you'll never be good at it. But they've actually made things a little bit easier for us, and they've done it off of the feedback of coaches. So the biggest thing I would say is, and another thing is, like I was saying, I don't really want to get into form now because it's a little much, and I don't really want to get too far into the invitation process, because if you are watching this video live right now, or if you're going to watch the recording later on, I want everybody to know that if you go into your coach online office, and if you don't know how to get there, you can Google it, I think, or ask your upline coach. And if you're on my team, I hope you know that you go into your coach online office and you go to news and training, then Coach Training Academy, and then there's all the tabs that take you to the Coach Training Academy. If you're a coach who has been a coach for a long when I taught the 3 vital behaviors training in Houston 2 weeks ago, I think, somebody asked me, Mindy, do you follow these scripts? I don't follow them anymore because those scripts, there was a script like that when I became a coach, but the scripts of the detail that they have are made from coaches like us who've been around in the business, and they get our feedback. But and they said, well, do you suggest somebody use it? So I suggest you print that, you study it, you read it as many times as you need, you put it in front of you when you're messaging people back and forth, because it is a script. It's there for the people who say, I don't know how to market, I don't know how to talk to people, I don't know how to build relationships, I don't know what to say, I scare people off. Follow it. It has been built by top coaches who have hit Success Club every month and have learned through trial and error. So if you follow the script to the point that you are comfortable with it, and it becomes a natural routine, just kind of like the 21-day fix. If you do 21-day fix, those eating habits become routine, then you won't need those scripts. So I don't use the script because I'm comfortable with the 5-step invitation process. But if you are struggling with the invite, use that. And if you don't use it, you're selling yourself short. This is no different than starting a new job and somebody giving you a job description and you going beside somebody every day saying this is how you clean something, this is how you do a job, and then eventually you learn it. So, don't let the fact that you think that you suck at this, because I've heard people say that, or that that's where you struggle, stop you. You can fix it. I tell people this all the time. When you became a wife, when you became a husband, when you became a mother, when you became whatever you were in your profession, you probably sucked in the beginning because you didn't know it, you weren't comfortable with it, but over time you can get better. So utilize these things, and what Lyndsi just said is the 5-step invitation process, but it is personalized for her. One last thing I want to say, because I know it's late for East Coast people, and Lyndsi, I'm very thankful that she got on our call because she went from her team call right on to hers. So I appreciate the time that these coaches take when we are not your team, and it eats up your family time, and I appreciate that. But I want to say one last thing is a few tips that I have is what, and if anybody wants to market 21-day fix, if you Google 21-day fix Mindy Horde, it will take you to my blog, and I have a whole list of stuff that I have used and taught people to copy and paste because of what Lyndsi said, is that, about questions about core screen control, questions that if you ask people and they're like, yes, that's me, that fits me, that's what I'm looking for, then it leads them all to 21-day fix. And I never talked about any 7 color-coded containers. I didn't talk about 70 superfoods in Shakeology. I didn't talk about autumn. I didn't talk about Beachbody. I didn't talk about me. And then it gets them thinking. So, it's not, we're not manipulating them into doing it, but a lot of these people want what we have, and it's the fact that I said today, because one of my coaches, Sam, is trying to I didn't tell her. I just remembered I didn't tell her. She's trying to get into a gym up in Dallas to teach PiYo and P90 and Insanity, and they were asking me all these things about us, and so I used a way that I'm probably not going to take that Whitney girl that I talked to and turn her into a coach, but I was setting up for Sam. She asked me 7 questions about Sam, and she asked me, I pumped her up, and I was like, you know about Beachbody? And, and I'm sure Sam already had the conversation with her, but I took this opportunity, and I explained what we did, and, and I said, she's like, why do you think she would be a good fit for our gym? And I said, you know what? I said, she'd be a great fit for this gym because we've known each other for 10 years, and we went from people that knew each other then to kind of acquaintances, and then friends to now family. And I said, and she has such a strong passion for what she does with Beachbody. And then I named off a few programs, and I said, and she's lost, over 80 pounds. I said, but she has this passion in her. And I'm like, I'm not saying we're the best company, even though I think that we are. I can't really, prove that, but we are the best company because we are taught to build relationships. And I said, and I know there's great trainers out there, and I'm friends with trainers, and I'm know people who own gyms, and I'm not discrediting it, but most of these people will give you a meal plan, may check up on you, but if you don't pay your fees or your membership dues or your session fees, then that's pretty much it. And if you they don't take the time to put you in groups necessarily. I mean, I know some do, but there's not this relationship. I said, Sam is so great with people because she's so passionate about this. When people walk into the steps and into the doors of where she's teaching in your gym, they're going to build this relationship with this person that is going to make them want to come back because of her. And I said, and I can't promise that she's going to stay at your gym forever, but I know that she's going to be teaching this forever because she firmly believes in this, and so you won't have to connect with people all the time. I came back from Houston after being on 2 days, after attending a leadership training, and then going teaching the 3 vital behaviors training. I was gone from my family. I've been having a stressful couple weeks, and I walked in this restaurant to take my kids and my best friend out to eat when I got home late at night. I think it was 8 o'clock, and Rebel was acting a fool. He was tired, and he hadn't seen me, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And the girl's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, I miss my kids a lot. I was like, when I get back to this, I'm like, oh my God, it's just horrible. And I was like, and then I feel bad. And so this was a normal situation. I'm not perfect. And she was like, why are you so tired? And I was so tired that I didn't really want to talk, but I was like, you know what? No, I was like, well, I taught a leadership thing, and I said, and I trained this thing, in Houston, and I've been gone for 2 days. She's like, what were you doing? And I said, I work for a health and fitness company. And I didn't say Beachbody. And then she asked, and it was a normal conversation. I said, we told her, I said, well, have you ever heard of P90X Insanity? She said, no. And then I said, well, it's an infomercial, and then I talked about the Fit Club I had ran, and she's like, oh, that's interesting. And then before I left, I handed her my phone and said, are you on Facebook? Let's connect. And she sent me a friend request from my phone, or she had me send her a friend request. Next thing you know, 3 people behind the counter are doing the same thing. I screenshot their their name, that way I could remember, because I get so many friend requests a day. That way I could talk to them later on. And so those people I'm not going to chase down the next time I see them, or blow up their Facebook inbox message telling them, you got to join my challenge group. But I remember them, and I'm going to talk to them, and I asked them, I'm looking for a new Fit Club location. Could you help me? So I had a call to action so that they'll remember me, and that they can help me, and I can help them, and that's kind of a referral thing. So these are these normal everyday things where you could be one of those people who's tired and who's frustrated with your children, but you could pass up a total opportunity for the fact that maybe these people are not going to be coach material or challenger material next month, or maybe even ever. But if I build a relationship with them, if they see me on social media and they know somebody who needs me, a month now, a year from now, then they would refer them to me. So these are the ways to build your contact list. And so I want to just remind everybody in closing is that utilize the information in the back office, because Lyndsi and I had to figure this out on our own, and we've had to create scripts, and we've had there's a lot of downtime of non-productive time trying to figure this out. So unfortunately for you, and I know it's overwhelming for a lot of people, but you have these scripts there to learn, and so use them at their fingertips. And if you're struggling with something, these are what they're there for. Don't let ego get in the way. Don't be consumed by that you can't do it. You can't do it if you're struggling. Then sitting there beating yourself up, telling yourself that you suck and not looking at the information, then you are never going to improve. I will tell you that you will never improve. But if you look at these scripts, you get comfortable with them, you learn to do the personalization, then do it. And if you're afraid of being a salesman, trust me, I was a salesman like a mofo in the beginning. It was horrible. I did things that I look back and I'm like, oh, my marketing was horrible. But if you don't ever do that, you're never going to learn, and you're never going to be comfortable with it. So just get out of your own way. Start doing it, see what works. And if it doesn't work and you are a salesman, oh well. Because some of these people that I was very salesy to in the beginning, they're coming around now, and they're some of my top coaches. And I am thankful that my coach offered me the opportunity 13 days into my journey. So in closing, if you have any extra questions, post to the event invite that I did for this call, which is something that I use for challenge groups too, because when you do that, everybody's notified of it. And so if you have any questions for Lyndsi and I, let us know. Thank you for the time, Lyndsi. I appreciate it. And thank you for everybody, especially the East Coast people who stayed up late. Well, you're not East Coast anymore. You're Mountain Time, so I don't feel so bad. Did you have anything else to say?
I just was going to say the same thing, that you guys have so many tools now. We had nothing back then. We didn't even have challenge packs. And, like, you have to find, I wouldn't I wouldn't script it. I would take a script and I would personalize it, and customize it to you, and just use the right questions that will lead you to truly helping them and really be interested in them. Like, I feel like if you're not interested in them and making a friendship and making a connection and really helping them, I feel like this is not for you. Because this takes patience, it takes persistence, perseverance, because some of them move quick, and some of them, like me, need 8 months to stare at you and watch you. And I also will just add that the coach I signed up with is actually gone. She went MIA within 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks of me signing up. My star diamond's gone. Like, I've done this. I do have some people, once I hit elite, who caught my attention, or who caught my eye, or I caught their attention. But I had to do that on my own. So you also don't need to be hanging on to anybody. You can just by yourself with all the tools out there. I remember writing novels of invites too. Oh God, that was fun. But it wasn't good. It was bad. So don't be afraid. Just get out there and do it. That's all. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I like that you said that, because I didn't know that about your story, but I hear this all the time from people. It's like, well, I wish I was on your team, Mindy, because you have it all together. Nah, number one, didn't always have it all together. I have put things in place that work for my team, and they may not work for other people, because I have created the documents and the scripts and these calls for my team. And so I want to let everybody know that switching teams or thinking that you would be better off if you were a different team is not necessarily so. My coach has personally sponsored 17 or 18 diamonds, and although we originate from the same team and have a great upline, we've done it all on our own. And my coach and I and her sister have worked together to do it on our own, but she didn't hold my hand. She didn't write scripts for me. She didn't get on calls with me. She didn't lives 1,400 miles away from me. I'm not saying she's a bad coach, but I'm saying we've done this together and learned, and we've shared ideas. So find somebody you can share ideas with and go. But my coach did not hold my hand. I was the CEO of my own business, and she made me realize that I had that responsibility to myself and to my team, and we worked together. So Lyndsi obviously has a story, and she has been a powerhouse, and so get that out of your head, that you think that you have to be with the right team, or that somebody has to do it for you or show you the steps, because we figured it out on our own, and you have the same available and more than we did when we started. So do a gut check and a reality check and a head check when you get off this call, and ask yourself what's holding you back, because we limit ourselves. We are unstoppable once we realize we're unstoppable. So in closing, everybody, thank you, and thank you again, Lyndsi.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
I think she froze again. Did she freeze again?
Am I frozen?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah. I stopped broadcasting.
Okay.
Okay. I just hit off air, so it's just me and you right now. But thank you so much for sharing about that, about your upline, because I didn't know that. That's like super handy, because I'm getting messages a lot from coaches lately saying that they want to switch to me, and I'm like, you can't do that.